I guess I can't stop making videos about this game, but the more and more days go by, the hype builds up even more, not just for me, but for every single fan out there that wants this remake. Before I even considered creating content on YouTube, I said Resident Evil Village had the potential to be the greatest Resident Evil game of all time. And it is a great game in my opinion. It is my 4th ranked favorite Resident Evil game out of all the games I've played so far. Anyways, speaking about before creating content on YouTube, I was Twitch streaming Resident Evil games and uploading them on YouTube, as you guys can see all the way down in my videos tile. I am making a return to Twitch to not just stream Resident Evil games, but other games as well. It's something that I have wanted to do for a while, and one thing I want to do with Twitch is interact with you guys and talking about Resident Evil and many other things as well. My Twitch link will be in the description down below, and if you guys want to drop a follow, it'd be very appreciated. Especially if you guys really want to get to know me. And speaking of dropping, be sure to drop a like on this video if you end up enjoying it, and hit the subscribe button as well if you are liking the content that I have been posting as of recently. And with that out of the way guys, let's get into the video. Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time. Does the game have a perfect story however? Not even close. I honestly can't think of a Resident Evil game that has a necessarily quote-unquote perfect story, but one thing we can easily say about them is some we really enjoy and appreciate, some other stories we just don't end up appreciating them enough. They're cheesy, dumb, and most importantly, it's fun and enjoyable. That's how I view Resident Evil 4's story. Dumb, cheesy, fun is the best way to describe it in 3 words. There is quite a bit of things that can really improve the story, and I want to talk about some things that can be very beneficial in the remake. So let's get into some things on this list. Number 1, the merchant interactions. I think we can all agree that the merchant is one of, if not the most mysterious Resident Evil characters of all time. We don't know his name, we don't know what he fully looks like, we don't know his backstory, and we also missed out on the opportunity to see him and Leon have interactions, even Ashley as well, and not to mention Ada in the Separate Ways DLC. And I believe Capcom is working on that. It would make the merchant have a character rather than just the guy that says iconic lines selling you weapons, and he doesn't really have a place in terms of the story, other than just selling you weapons and buying treasure off of you. And I think the remake can easily fix that and make the merchant a more beloved character than he already is. And as a side note, Capcom, please bring back Paul Mercier as the merchant. I'm fine with him not being Leon, as this is Nick Apostolidis' role, but him being the merchant honestly feels so irreplaceable, so maybe it would be some nice fan service to see him come back as the merchant, but if it is a different voice actor, let's hope he can pull it off. Number 2, more interactions between Leon and Ada. We saw some interactions with these two, but honestly not enough. When they encountered for the first time in the last 6 years, there should have been a load of questions Leon should have had ready for her, other than if she was working with Wesker or not. I want to know how she survived that fall in Resident Evil 2. That depends on what you guys think is either the canon game or route. I'm just going off of RE2 Remake, since this game is going to be a continuation to that game. I would really love to see more interactions from the two, but the reason why Ada was kind of held back was because of Albert Wesker, so I really don't know if the remake will have Wesker in a big role. But I mean they should. I mean it's fucking Albert Wesker, guys. Come on, he's the biggest villain in Resident Evil history. Number 3, I want bigger roles from side characters. I don't know if Luis Serra has any sort of haters because he was an amazing character in Resident Evil 4. Jack Krauser, Ashley Graham, and so many more characters can really flourish in more backstory and character development, and I can even include the villains as well. Ashley having more interactions with Leon would be absolutely amazing for both characters, and she could possibly explain her life before she got kidnapped, and hell, she can even describe on how the kidnapping was, which all those things I mentioned, she didn't say in the original. There's not many people that actually like Ashley as a character, but I think with her having more character development in this remake, having those interactions with just a ton of people that she sees or encounters in the story, such as Leon, Luis, the Merchant, and many others, would definitely help her, redeem herself as a character as to what she was in the original RE4. Which she was just an escort, and she really only said a couple things that were kind of memorable, such as, don't get me wrong guys, this game has some big shoes to fill. I know when this game gets revealed it is going to be insane, and for the first time in my life I may scream like a little bitch in terms of video games being revealed when this game ends up getting its reveal. And for the people that say it's going to be a reimagining and not a remake and vice versa, it doesn't matter. It's practically the same shit. You can believe what you want it's going to be, and other people will think the other way around. It's one of, if not the most useless debates I know of in the Resident Evil community, so there is no need to come at me about that. And if you do, I'm just gonna ignore you. The last thing I want to talk about in this video, so number 4 is the lore. I am aware that there is a big rumor that Resident Evil Village will somehow be connected to this remake, and to be honest with you guys, I wouldn't like it. I just don't see how a game taking place in 2005 would connect with the game taking place in 2021. The only connection other than the gameplay and inventory aspects is the Duke mentioning the merchant. So I really don't think it would make sense, but Capcom can blow my mind out of nowhere and make it miraculously work in some way.
What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
But lore is something that very lacked in the story. People have said it felt like an actual side story, but do I agree with them? Fuck no. And my brainwashed RE4 mind will not change whatsoever, but there was a lot of chances to have a lot of lore in the game, but it just didn't seem to have much. Its only substantial place in terms of lore is the fact that Wesker used the Plaga parasite off of Krauser's dead body, that he created a new and stronger virus that led into Resident Evil 5, which is known as the Ouroboros virus. So more lore would be very beneficial for the story, and I'm all for it. Not to mention some neat callbacks that would be very cool to see in the remake as well. Maybe something like a Resident Evil 2 callback between Leon and Ada, and hell, I would love to see a Darkside Chronicles callback with Krauser and Leon. And even a DLC for Darkside Chronicles would be absolutely amazing for the remake. I think if there is one game that deserves DLC content that is a remake, like a load of DLC content, I think it's going to be RE4 Remake, and I believe it should be. I said this in one of my previous videos about RE4 Remake. A Darkside Chronicles DLC would be one of the best things that Capcom could do, and I think it would be on par with Resident Evil 5's Lost in Nightmares DLC. The Lost in Nightmares DLC is my favorite DLC to have played so far. Granted, I haven't played the Resident Evil 7 DLCs yet, but I will in the future. But as of right now, number one is RE5 Lost in Nightmares, and I think Darkside Chronicles can be up to par with that. Just only have Krauser and Leon's story in Africa, not the RE2 stuff, because we already saw that in the remake. But anyways, I may have been rambling on for too long, or maybe I haven't been rambling on for too much though, but that is going to be the end for today's video. Leave a like and comment to get this video on the algorithm. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you like the Resident Evil franchise. And yes, I know how much countless RE4 remake videos I have made, but I don't know if this is going to be the last one. Who knows, I could make a video about RE4 Remake being confirmed by Capcom or something like that. I can make a video about it being revealed before it even gets released, so the hype is there, guys, and I'm probably not going to stop making RE4 content. I mean, if you guys are getting tired of it, I apologize, but, I mean, hey, come on. It's my favorite game of all time is getting a remake. Of course I'm going to talk about it, right? But anyways, guys, expect some gameplay videos of Resident Evil games in the future, and remember to follow me on Twitch. The link will be in the description down below. You don't want to miss out on getting to know me and just relaxing and watching some Resident Evil content. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have yourselves a good day, a good night, and a good sleep. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and much love.